It began with a secret that hid in the shadows long before anyone knew the name Ted Bundy. A secret so dark that when it finally surfaced, it would terrify an entire nation. People thought monsters looked like monsters, but sometimes a monster looks like the most trustworthy man in the room. And that was the first lie the world believed. The city streets looked peaceful during the 1970s. Quiet neighborhoods sat under soft streetlights. Students walked home laughing after long days at college. Nothing about those nights felt dangerous. Nothing about those nights warned of the horror coming. Far away from the public eye, a dark mind was growing, a mind that learned how to smile while hiding evil. His name was Ted Bundy. To most people, he was charming, he was polite, he was well-spoken. He looked like the last person anyone would fear. But appearances can be deadly. Before the world would fear him, there was a victim, a young woman with dreams and plans for her future. Her friends described her as kind and full of life. She loved music and long walks with friends. Her smile lit up every room she entered. Her family believed she was safe. She lived in a city that felt calm and normal. But evil does not need an invitation. Sometimes it walks right into your life. The day everything changed started like any other day. The sun was shining over the campus. Students moved between classes and coffee shops. Nothing seemed out of place. No one knew they were about to be part of a true crime mystery. The young woman finished her classes that afternoon. She talked with friends about weekend plans. She smiled as she said goodbye. No one realized it would be the last time they saw her. As night began to fall, the campus grew quiet. Street lights flickered one by one. A cool wind moved through the trees. Somewhere in the dark, someone was watching. Ted Bundy was not like other criminals. He did not look dangerous. He did not act suspicious. In fact, many people trusted him immediately. And that was exactly what made him so terrifying. He understood human trust. He knew how to use it like a weapon. Sometimes he pretended to be injured. Sometimes he asked for help. People wanted to help him because he looked normal. He looked safe. But the night of the disappearance would change everything. The young woman was last seen walking alone. Her footsteps echoed on the sidewalk. She was only a few minutes from home. Then something strange happened. Witnesses later said they saw a man nearby. He was tall, he was clean-cut, he was well-dressed, and he introduced himself with a simple name. He said his name was Ted. At first, nothing about the moment felt dangerous. He asked for a small favor, just a little help. It seemed like an innocent request, but sometimes evil begins with a simple conversation. Moments later, the young woman was gone, completely vanished into the night. Her friends waited for her call. Her family expected her home, but hours passed with no word. Worry quickly turned into fear. The next morning, police received the report. A young woman had disappeared. At first, they thought it might be a simple missing persons case, but small details did not add up. Witnesses described a man named Ted, and that name would soon haunt investigators. Detectives began searching the area. They looked through wooded paths, they checked parking lots, they interviewed students. Everyone reported the same thing: a nice man asking for help. A nice man named Ted. The investigation grew more confusing because there was one problem. No one believed a nice man like that could be a killer. As days passed, the disappearance became a mystery. Police searched forests and parks. They questioned friends and neighbors, but the young woman was still missing. Then another strange report came in. A different woman had also vanished. The details were almost identical. Same location, same time of night, the same charming stranger. Investigators felt a chill run through them. This was no longer a random disappearance. It was beginning to look like a pattern, a terrifying pattern. Witnesses again described the same man, tall, handsome, confident, and his name was still Ted. The city started to panic. Parents warned their children, students walked in groups, fear spread through the community. But the man responsible was still free, and he was watching everything. Ted Bundy continued his normal life. He attended classes, he talked with friends, he even worked with political campaigns. No one suspected the truth. He looked too normal, he acted too calm. But detectives began collecting small clues. Witnesses remembered a brown car, a Volkswagen Beetle. It had been seen near multiple disappearances. That car would become a critical clue. Police began searching vehicle records. Thousands of cars matched the description, but one name stood out. The owner was Ted Bundy. At first, detectives were uncertain. Could this friendly law student really be involved? It seemed almost impossible, but the evidence was growing. More women continued to disappear. Each case followed the same terrifying pattern: a helpful stranger, a polite request, and then complete silence. The investigation grew urgent. Police from different states started sharing information. For the first time, they realized the horror was much bigger. This was not one crime, this was a serial killer. And his name kept appearing. Ted, the man with the friendly smile, the man no one feared, until it was too late. Detectives decided to watch him closely. They followed his movements, they studied his car, they listened to his stories, and slowly his perfect image began to crack. Witnesses identified him from police sketches. The car matched multiple reports. Small pieces of evidence started connecting. The puzzle was coming together. But Ted Bundy was clever. He knew how to stay one step ahead. He moved between states. He changed his routines. He watched the news about his own crimes, and sometimes he even helped with crime prevention programs. It was a shocking twist. The killer was hiding in plain sight. The investigation was now a race against time.
The investigation was about to take a turn no one expected. A simple traffic stop would change the entire case. It was late at night when a police officer noticed a suspicious car. The vehicle moved slowly through a quiet street. The officer decided to pull it over. The driver stopped without argument. He appeared calm and confident. His voice was polite. His face showed no fear. The driver introduced himself. His name was Ted Bundy. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but something about the situation felt strange. The officer decided to search the car. Inside the vehicle were disturbing items. There were handcuffs, there was rope, there was a metal bar, there was also a mask. These were not normal items to find in a car. The officer felt a chill run down his spine. He immediately contacted the station. Ted Bundy was taken into custody. At first, he acted like nothing was wrong. He smiled and answered questions calmly. He said everything was a misunderstanding, but detectives were starting to see the truth. The car matched the description from multiple witnesses. The name Ted matched the stories from survivors. The puzzle was finally coming together. Investigators began connecting cases from different states. Each new detail painted a darker picture. The friendly man was not who he claimed to be. He was a predator hiding in plain sight. Witnesses were asked to identify him. Many of them recognized his face immediately. Their voices shook as they spoke. They remembered his smile. They remembered his voice. They remembered his name. The case against him grew stronger every day, but Ted Bundy continued to deny everything. He claimed he was being framed. He said he was innocent, but the evidence kept growing. Investigators discovered more shocking details. The crimes were far more numerous than anyone expected. The truth was even darker than the police feared. Ted Bundy had been living a double life. One life was charming and normal. The other life was filled with dark secrets. The trial would soon capture the attention of the entire world. People watched in shock as the story unfolded. They could not believe the man they saw on screen. He looked like a law student. He looked like a neighbor. He did not look like a serial killer. But the evidence spoke louder than his words. Survivors told their stories in court. Their courage helped reveal the truth. The jury listened carefully to every detail. Day by day, the dark story was exposed. Finally, the verdict arrived. Ted Bundy was found guilty. The man who had terrorized so many was finally stopped. Justice had been served, but the pain of the victims would never disappear. Their families would always remember what was taken from them. Their stories became a warning to the world. Evil does not always look evil. Sometimes it looks trustworthy. Sometimes it looks friendly. If this true crime story shocked you, make sure you leave a like on this video. Comment below and tell us your thoughts about this case. Do you think people can hide evil behind a normal life? Share this video with friends who love true crime stories. Your support helps this channel grow. Subscribe now so you never miss our next true crime documentary. Turn on the notification bell for more dark mysteries. Thank you for watching until the end. Stay safe and always trust your instincts. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying monsters walk among us.